Friends, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's not difficult for you, but it's nice for me, and we're starting. As King Solomon said, much knowledge multiplies sadness. Unfortunately, I had to test the validity of this ancient wisdom on myself. And of course, it was not without a beautiful woman. Meet my wife, Julia. I don't think you can argue with the fact that, for 40 years old, she looks almost flawless. But in this photo, all its advantages are not visible yet. In addition to a neat small breast, not spoiled by feeding children, there is an elegant elastic hourglass figure. And how I love her long, noble fingers, always decorated with impeccable manicure. Oh, those legs! Graceful curves of the hips, chiseled calves, and small, neat feet, to which it is so pleasant to press your lips. In addition to her almost angelic beauty, she also behaves like a real lady. I have never seen this woman lose her composure for even a moment in my life, or humiliate herself with whining or banal petty bourgeois squabbling. Although in our lives, everything happened from poverty to illness, but I always knew, I was absolutely sure that I could trust her as myself. Her only flaw was not even a flaw, but rather a little annoying burden. I considered her irrepressible passion for bed experiments. By nature, I am quite reserved in this regard and am not gifted with an excessively large sexual organ, so I have never tried to perform any incredible feats in the boudoir. In the same way, I considered our love to be a manifestation of the highest pure spirit, purified from vulgar lust. No, we had love from time to time, and what I got from her was enough for me. And when I noticed that she was somehow especially cold to me after intimacy or, on the contrary, overly excited, I always attributed it to the peculiarities of the incomprehensible female psychology. To suspect Yulia of treason was completely unthinkable for me. So that this woman, with whom we read poetry to each other at dawn, argued hoarsely about the advantages and disadvantages of Ulyss, enjoyed an exquisite dinner in a tiny Parisian restaurant overlooking the Seine, descended to adultery? No, it's more likely that the moon is made of cheese than Julia will go to the left. And yet, and everything turned out to be somehow stupid and unnecessary. I don't know what I expected to find on her phone. Maybe I somehow subconsciously felt, maybe she gave herself away somehow. I don't know. But anyway, on that damn May evening, when she wanted to take a bath before going to bed, I did something I shouldn't have. She left her phone on the coffee table, and I couldn't resist the temptation. The first attempt to enter the password is 12/12, the day and month of our wedding. No. 2908 is my birthday. No. There was one last attempt left, and the phone would lock, and I would have to explain to her why I did it. Lying, dodging, pretending that it's nothing terrible, just an accident. No, that's enough. I tried. It didn't work. Stop. 0203 is her birthday. He came up. When I began to study the contents of the phone, my hands did not sweat. My heartbeat did not increase. I was calm and confident in her. If I had any suspicions, then, of course, they will not be confirmed. It's just plain nonsense. I scrolled through messenger chats, SMS messages, call logs, photos. And then I saw him. Not a human being, no. To hell with a man. You never know who it might be. My legs gave out. I almost dropped the phone from my hands. He glanced at the door. The water in the bathroom continued to make noise, which means I had time to dig around some more. Fool, I thought. And immediately a second disgusting word flashed through her head, which did not go to her in any way. It just didn't go well. The cheater. I sank into a chair and began to study her chats more closely. And so, the look caught on. An unfamiliar avatar, an unfamiliar name, and with a smiley face with a tongue sticking out after the nickname. Roma, taxi. What a taxi! Her car is new. The thought was cold and sharp and stung like a knife. This is it, exactly it. Is this really happening? Now I felt how sweaty my palms were, how fast and booming my heart was beating, how suddenly my mouth was dry. Fortunately, I did not have to suffer in ignorance for a long time. Everything became clear at the first glance. This Roma is her lover. He's using my wife behind my back. And, apparently, he has been doing this regularly and for a very long time. I kept flipping through their chat, but it didn't end. Dates, lines of text, Funny emoticons, sad emoticons, voice messages, and photos flashed by. Lots of photos. It was so wild, so unlike her, that I thought it was some kind of montage. But no, she is. A noble beauty shamelessly exposes herself in an unsightly way in front of some bastard who is self-satisfied by looking at her. I randomly opened one of the videos he sent her, and then she said something to the camera, and I read his lips. Come over. Not happening. Right here in this bed, where we sleep together. Did she give herself to this lout? She was still in the bathroom. I turned up the sound a bit and rewound the video again. Come. I'm flowing. It turned out to be even worse than I thought. Now I'm going to burst into her and demand an answer. I'm going to poke this phone in her lying face. I want to see her beg for forgiveness. I'll get her out of the tub and put her out the door. Nothing else will fall under someone. We'll find a way out. These thoughts, although they gave some relief, were still so disgusting that I was horrified at myself. No, I'm not going to give her the joy of seeing me like this. I'd rather read what they were doing there. I finally scrolled through the chat to the first message and went deep into reading. 2. Hi. Is this Roma from Tinder? Hi, yes. Shall we continue here? Of course, come on. Smiley face. My God. Since when has she been on dating sites? I liked you very much. You are different from the others. Thank you, smiley face. I really appreciate it. A woman like you probably doesn't get a pass from men. It's very nice that you got interested. Anger was bubbling up inside me. Look at the horseradish cavalier. Huh. To be honest, you have something that I particularly liked. Here she had the audacity to put a smiley face with cheeks flushed with shame. Oh, and what is it? Those profile photos? Like this? I don't know what I was waiting for, but of course he sent her dick spades. I've always been sympathetic to women. He tried to take their side, treated them with respect, and never allowed himself to consider himself better in anything. I've never allowed myself to participate in these boorish conversations about girls that men constantly have with each other. And so, she is grateful. The smartest, most worthy of them turns out to be the most ordinary fool. Everything is clear here. I flipped up a few pages. Julia, are you free today? No. I'm sorry, sad smiley face. Are you sure? Remembering now the second I read this message, I realized that it was at that moment that I made a choice. Or rather, my body made the choice. But Yulin's answer surprised me. Well, then find yourself a girl, let her suck. I'm like a moth to you. Fly at the first click. Well, dear, thanks for that too. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I thought you liked it. Of course, I liked it. I have such a love, only with a previous boyfriend. But you have to understand one thing. I'm not your weak-willed doll. I'm in charge here, and you either accept the rules of the game, or I'll find someone else. Wow, there are so many questions at once, and I felt that I was afraid of the answers. Julia, that's exactly what I like about you. You're a real woman, not those pouty ones. I'll accept whatever rules you set. It's a joy and happiness just to be with you. Good. I'll believe you. This time, I scrolled even higher. This time, the lovebirds shared outright fantasies. Rom, can I confess to you? Of course. I have a thought, but I do not know if I can tell you. I thought I earned your trust, smile. Okay, but this is very personal. I'm not anyone, just between us. The fact is that I have a fantasy, but she is very obscene, even perverted. I'm ashamed of her, but I really want to tell you about her. Smiley face in the form of an ear. I want you to take me at my place on our bed. Well, what's so perverse about it? A screenshot of the correspondence. Wait, that's not all. I want my husband to watch. Julia, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Alas, this is just a fantasy. I can't imagine what would happen to him if he found out. Now it was necessary to figure out what to do next. I was disgusted and ashamed, but I had to honestly admit to myself, her unthinkable fantasy hooked me. I imagined myself on my knees, looking at them from behind, and he's on it. All I see is her spread legs and his ass, and then powerful, rhythmic movements as he enters her. More and more. I had never felt such feelings before, and I didn't know how to deal with them either. Yes, and what to do next? Accusations, scandal, Divorce didn't seem like such a good idea to me anymore. Any queen should have favorites. Classical education be damned for such thoughts. And yet I have come to a decision. In fact, I accepted it almost immediately. I won't say anything. I won't show it. I'll just keep pretending that I don't know about anything. And then we'll see. I don't want to be on the sidelines. I want to be with her forever. And if she wants to humiliate me in front of her lover, well, there are worse things. I put the phone back down and turned on the TV. The sound of the water died down. She turned on the hairdryer, and after a few minutes he fell silent. "Let's go to bed?" she asked with a smile that made my heart ache. "Of course it's time," I replied, with a mock yawn. He went up to her, kissed her on the lips and said, "I love you."